And a very warm welcome to today's session of Tuesday gathering. And what a blessed time it was listening to Baba Muktananda chant the Shri Guru Gita. Baba's voice is so nectarian, you just don't want to stop. But we have a program at hand. So we'll just begin with a short prayer to the Guru principle. So close your eyes and let us become centered with the awareness of our breath. And we chant Om Akhandamandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Shri Sadgurave Namaha. We bow down and offer our gratitude and obeisance to all the teachers in the world, all those who have toiled to uplift humanity and to bring a sense of belongingness to this world. Our salutations to everyone. We have a very special program on hand today and a very special speaker for this occasion. And she is going to speak about transforming power of grace. And our speaker for this evening is Mrs. Shaila Gvalani. And it's difficult to introduce somebody whom you have known for 32 years. I think it's 32 years now. And I still remember the time when I had met Guru Mai. I was very new to the ashram. And suddenly we were made part of a team where our job was to do outreach, to go out and teach, to do things. And there were so many things that we learned together. There were so many programs that we did together. There were so many places that we traveled to together. And there began a kind of a spiritual fellowship between the two of us. And because of this spiritual fellowship, the kind of relationship that developed was difficult to explain. And I can only say that we have grown together. And it's my great pleasure to introduce her today to the audience. Though everybody knows her, she has always been working behind the scenes and been very active. And she has been our MC on a few occasions. And what I really can say with great authority that here is someone who can teach a few lessons in reaching out to people, being of assistance, and offering service with love. That is what she stands out for. And as she recounts her journey today, each one of us here is going to experience what it is when grace smiles on a person and how one can travel through all the trials and tribulations of life. Normally, people think that if you have a guru, life is going to be easy because the guru is going to take care. But life can be challenging, and how a person can live through the challenges and in a smiling way, embracing everything that comes. This is what our today's speaker is about. So with these words, I welcome Shailaji, and the podium or the microphone is all yours. Most welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know whether how much of it I deserve, but I'm really overwhelmed. Namaskar to each one of you. My pranams to Baba Muktananda, to Guru Mai Chidvilasananda, to all the holy beings, to all the masters and the saints who have constantly showered their grace, not only on me, on all of us. My pranams to each one of you at the Tuesday gatherings. I have been learning each moment from the day Tuesday gatherings began. A bhajan is springing up in my mind. Shri Guru Sarika Asat Pati Rakha Itaransa Theva Ona Kari Rajiyanchi Kanta Kaya Bhikh Mange Manachi Zoduni Siddhi Pave Kalpataru Varuni Baisala Jo Koi Vani Sanghu Kai Jnanadeva Mane Taralo Taralo Guru Krupe. This is a abhang by Sant Gnaneshwar, where he just says that once I have the Guru with me, what else do I want? और क्या चाहिए और कुछ किसी चीज की पड़ी नहीं है. एक राजा की बेटी क्या भीख मांगेगी, वो तो मन में जो कुछ भी सोचेगी उसके सामने हाजिर हो जाएगा. ये जीवन में कल्पतरु कल्प वृक्ष के नीचे बैठकर जो कुछ भी इच्छा करते हैं प्राप्त हो जाता है. और ये जन्म मरण के जीवन की श्रृंखला को मैं तर गया, मैं पार गया संसार को गुरु कृपा से. My life has also been only a swim in the ocean of grace. I was the first grandchild of a joint family. So though pampered, there was a certain spiritual discipline which I lovingly followed. When I was 3, I used to sit beside my grandfather and love to observe him and listen to him do the whole puja, abhishek, chant, and the aarti. And that's how I spent the first few years of my life. I met Baba Muktananda when I was 12. Baba Muktananda had come to Bombay and he was giving darshan in the terrace of the building of one of the devotees. This is the picture of Swami Muktananda. And as I climbed up and entered the terrace of this building, there were people sitting down, and Baba was seated on a nice huge sofa. He had his sunglasses on because there was a little sun. As we went up for darshan, along with my parents and my younger brother, one of my uncles introduced us to Baba. Baba smiled, and it was momentarily. We passed by. After having darshan, we bowed down. My brother was ahead of me. Sivait was sitting there handing over chocolates as prasad. So he handed over a chocolate to him. And after him, when I went, I just passed by thinking I was too old to receive a chocolate. But I was called back and said, "This is prasad from Baba." I took the chocolate, went to the audience and sat down. My eyes were gazed only on watching Baba's face. He was something I fell in love with. Like, you just want to keep looking at him again and again and again. After a while, I realized that the chocolate could be melting in my hands, so I opened it and ate it there. As the chocolate went down my throat, I experienced a sweetness which I had never experienced before. It was something special. I still remember the taste of the chocolate. Something divine had entered my being on that day. This was my first meeting, and after 2 years, I got a opportunity to visit Ganeshpuri for the first time. Ganeshpuri Ashram, which is near, little far from Virar. This is the picture of the front gate and the ashram in Ganeshpuri, Gurudev Siddha as it is known now. As I entered the premises of Gurudev Siddha, I had this feeling as if I was stepping into an oasis after walking for a long time in hot desert. There was such divine serenity, and the silence was so stunning. You could listen to your own breath. You could hear your own breath. After a while, we had all sat down and Baba came up for darshan. Again, visiting him, looking at him was a divine experience. Being young, I did not know much about saints or spirituality and nothing, but I just loved. I had this thought I wanted to come to this place again and again. And there began my journey of visiting the ashram. The next 10 years of my life were happened. There were a lot of changes and a lot of things happened. Like in all of our lives, it was a challenging time. I had lost both my parents, and I was married, and I was a working mother. For a while, there was a time where I was doing sadhana on my own. And during these sort of challenging times, my one and only support was the chanting book of Gurudev Siddha, the Swadhyay Sudha, which has the Guru Gita, the Vishnu Sahasranam, the Shiv Mahimna, and many, many other chants. And another thing was Baba's question and answer books. For all types of supports, or questions that came up, this was my one and only solution. And one night it was a hectic day and I could not get sleep. I was very, very disturbed. My mind was restless. It was almost 2 a.m. and I called out to Baba in my heart. At such times, whenever I felt the need for some support, some strength, somewhere something to hold on to, I would randomly open one of Baba's question and answer books, and whatever answer, whatever came on that page would be amazingly the reply to my question, to my query. So that night, when I opened Baba's book, this is what came up. Baba says, the Guru never leaves or comes. He always stays inside constantly. Don't you read the Guru Gita? It speaks of a mantra in the Sahasrar at the crown of the head. Inside this, there is a triangle and there are two syllables, So and Hum. The mantra Soham arises from there. Right in the center of this triangle, the Guru dwells. For this reason, you don't have to look for the Guru outside. If you can see that Guru, you will receive messages from him. If you experience this relationship between Guru and disciple, even for a moment, it is more than enough. Reading this, my mind settled. I was so happy. And in that happiness, I picked up my Swadhyaya Sudha, went to the kitchen as everyone was asleep, and began to chant the Guru Gita. At the end of the Gita, I was completely at ease and at peace within myself. And even a few hours of sleep after that made me fresh and going on to my daily life to work and go on with my daily duties. Guru Gita, chanting of Guru Gita and Baba's words have been so alive, tangible source of strength that I have experienced again and again within myself. On one morning, it was 4th of October 1982, Monday, the first working day of the week, and I read in the newspapers the headlines, Swami Muktananda no more. This came as a very, very strong jolt inside me. I had not been, because my daughter was small and there were family responsibilities, I had not been going to the ashram and not had Baba's darshan for quite a number of years. And I could not express, I just became dumbfounded. I just could not do anything, say anything. Yet there was something that was happening inside of me. I got ready to go to the office as usual and left my house. It was at a walking distance, but instead of going to the office, I found drawn by a force, an invisible force, which was just taking me, guiding me. I had no control over myself. My mind was just blank. And I landed up at the station. I had never been to Ganeshpuri ever in my life on my own, alone, by train. But after 1.5 hours, I found myself outside Ganeshpuri ashram. There were loudspeakers around and there was a huge queue, over 1,000, 2,000 people. The queue was going outside the ashram on the road, and on the loudspeakers there was a chant going on, Om Namo Bhagavate Muktanandaya. I joined the queue, and after 3.5 hours, I found myself for the darshan of Baba's body, which was kept in Padmasan, which is today Baba's Samadhi. As I was taking the pradakshina of this Samadhi, there was a very powerful bond, an invisible bond of light that made Baba and me merge into one. It was like a huge Shaktipat experience. But I was full of ease after that. I really felt that Baba had entered me completely. As I left the ashram after that, I started becoming normal and functioning, finding my way back home. But all throughout, there was this resolve inside me to follow this path with increased dedication. Now I cannot keep on visiting once in a way. Now I have to offer myself. And after that, I began to go to Ganeshpuri ashram for seva. And I would take my daughter along with me. Those days, the usual seva for people who would come on weekends was chopping vegetables in the kitchen, rolling chapatis. And I was basically a very shy person, and I loved to do whatever seva was there by myself without talking much or without mixing around. This went on for a few weeks, but after some time, once when I was chopping in the kitchen, a seva supervisor comes up to me and says, would you like to offer some more seva? There is something else for you. I was always eager and happily said yes. So after a few minutes, when my chopping was over, I found myself outside with another Sevite at the entrance gate of the ashram. There was a table set up, and I was introduced to this new seva. So you will be welcoming people, talking to them, and informing them about the Siddha Yoga path. And also there were some flyers kept. In those days, there were satsangs happening in Bombay every Thursday. So inviting people for satsangs, informing them, those people who would be coming from Bombay as visitors. There I was. The Guru knows where you need to be. But when it is Guru Seva, you do it. For a few minutes, there was this inhibition, but when people started coming and we started talking to them, I realized there was so much of joy. The joy rising from me, sharing the Guru's love, informing about the path of Siddha Yoga, the practices, talking about meditation. If there was somebody from Bombay, informing them about the satsangs happening in Bombay. And to see their response and to see that was literally living in the experience of God. It was following one of Baba's main teachings, see God in each other. And the whole seva became a big learning for me. This is what the Guru wants you to do. It was amazing, and it was very, very heart-opening for me. Once, coming back to Bombay after the weekend seva in Ganeshpuri, there was Thursday satsangs happening. So every Thursday, some speaker or a Swamiji would be coming from Gurudev Siddha Peeth, and we would be setting up a hall. So I would take leave from my office, permission to leave 1 hour early and reach the hall. This hall, which was an ordinary place, would be transformed into a supremely divine place. You know, the cleaning of the hall, putting down mattresses, setting up a puja with Baba's, his gurus and Gurumai's photographs. There was an area where there was speaker would be sitting and some musicians would play the chant. There were people who would be setting up a bookstore and setting up, transformed, the whole place would get transformed into a very divine atmosphere. So once on one of the Thursdays, we were almost done with most of the sevas. And as I was completing the setup, helping, a person who was the coordinator comes up and tells me, can you do some translation seva? I happily said, yes, I have nothing on hand and I'll do it. Very eagerly, very happily, I said yes. And then, uh, so this is what you will be doing. Swamiji would be coming from Ganeshpuri. In a short while, he'll be arriving. And the one who was to translate for Swamiji has not been able to come due to some health problem. And so you'll be translating Swamiji's talk. It came out of my head. What have I said yes to? I have never done this before. I thought it was a bit of translation for, to put up on the bookstore or a piece of paper, something to write down. And my inner chatter began, I don't think I can do this. No, it is Guru Seva. How can you refuse? The nervousness was there, but I had said yes. Swamiji arrived after a while, and there was not much time to go over the whole talk, so we quickly went over a small portion of main points, what he was going to say. And 5 minutes before the program was to begin, we sat down. I thought that there was no floor on which to sit. The ground was just slipping away. I was totally nervous. Just a few, maybe 30 seconds before we were about to get up, Swamiji looked at me and whispered to me, surrender, total surrender. And he smiled compassionately. As I put my forehead down to the floor, touched in pranams, I offered myself completely, like, you take care, you handing over my whole being to the Guru. So in a few seconds, Swamiji was standing, I was standing, and he spoke, Sadgurunath Maharaj ki jai. Welcome. My name is Swami Vasudevananda, and translating for me is Shaila Gvalani. And this is her first time translating. The audience went into an applause. Swamiji looked at me and smiled, and I translated literally what he said. For the next 20 to 25 minutes of the talk, I do not know. I was not there. It was the Supreme Guru, some power speaking through me. I just experienced voice coming out. It was a a very strong and amazing experience. When I sat down after the talk, if someone were to ask me, what did you speak? I have no clue. It was a great learning of surrender. When you surrender, the Guru takes over. But it has to be complete. Nothing holding back. Once a devotee asked Gurumai, um, how do I get enlightenment? How can I become a Jivan Mukta? This is Gurumai Chidvilasananda. Gurumai smiled and said to her question, bit by bit. When I read this experience, I realized my sadhana has also been bit by bit, the transformation. The Guru is like a potter tapping a little hard on the outside and gently patting on the inside. But then you have to present yourself on the wheel and in the oven for baking. Like a master sculptor, all the feelings of limited being, of unworthiness, these are the two things I really often had this feeling and notion of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough. And this has been chiseled by the Guru bit by bit. Every time I was given a seva where something upfront was to be done, or I was to attend to somebody who is from a high profile, like once Bhimsen Joshi had come to perform in Gurudev Siddhapeeth, and we were asked to host him, to take care, to serve, and to see that he's well rested or if he needs anything. But the presence of, I mean, he's there, made me feel nervous. And on many occasions, this would happen. So once, when a musician had come and I was asked to do the seva, my superior, seva supervisor, noticed this, and she said, "Wait a minute." She took me aside and asked me, "Remember, whom do you serve? Do you serve your ego or do you serve the Guru?" The feeling of unworthiness is a form of a subtle ego. So always remember, whom do you serve whenever you do your seva, whatever it is. This teaching stayed with me, and I still remind myself again and again, because the ego doesn't go away so easily. Whom do you serve? This also helped me, this incident and this teaching, offer myself to do a number of other sevas. And those days, a lot of trainings and courses were being created. And we were a team uh, helping in translation, in creating these courses, getting them ready. And also, we received trainings to teach these courses. And then a team of us would be sent across different centers of India to teach these courses. It was no easy task. Guruma had put her trust in us sending us out as beacons of light, which meant there was constant work to be done on one's own self. Being a teacher was to be in a constant learning mode of how to be. And at this point of time, into contemplation on the Guru's teachings, observing myself helped in refining my understandings bit by bit. Grace was always there, but I had to remind myself, am I present? Once Gurumai was in Ganeshpuri for a 40-day period, and I had taken leave from my office for a month to be there. Many devotees would be coming since she was there, going to be there for only 40 days. People from all across India, thousands of devotees. And every day Gurumai would be sitting for darshan. People had different questions. Everybody wanted to come and speak to Gurumai. And this was physically, it became impractical for each person to be attended to. So a panel of Sevites, of Swamis and teachers was formed. And this panel would sit far away at a distance. And Gurumai and the people who were attending during darshan time would send people to the darshan panel speakers. I was one of the darshan panel Sevites. And this seva was such a deep transforming learning for me, because it was being sensitive. It was people from different forms, areas of life. Some were housewives, some were students. And coming, you are literally representing Gurumai, speaking to them. You had to be a good listener. You had to be very sensitive. You had to be empathetic, compassionate, and above all, not judging. I realized this bit by bit, because there were people who would come with questions like, some were having sadhana questions, meditation questions. A young lady from a remote village was there, and she had a question. My mother-in-law does not allow me to chant Guru Gita during the menses period. A young student wanted to discontinue his studies and come and live in the ashram, but he was the only son who had to take care of his parents and the families. So talking to these people was something which was taking me inside, putting myself in their place, and then what would Gurumai say to this person? Being in tune with the Guru Shakti was a very powerful experience during these times. And after that 1 month stay, I realized that there were so many things that were flowering, that I had something which was like a natural counseling things, and it helped me offer my seva back in the world, in Bombay when I came back home, talking to people. and naturally just listening to them. It's great overwhelming gratitude that comes when you look back and see so much has been received. Giving and receiving has been an ongoing process in my life, in my sadhana. It can go on and on. Thank you. I have been also very, very fortunate to have got opportunities to do seva with Gaur Sahib and his wife Ranjana ji. And it was through Gaur Sahib that I met many masters. In 1991 or so, I met Solibai Tavaria ji. Being with him was being in an ocean of love. His very presence, I didn't have anything to ask him. Just being with him was enough. So much of love in spending even 10 minutes with him. I had only 2 occasions, and the third one was when Solibai left his body. I had the great fortune of having his last darshan. But the grace of a guru is always with you, whether you know it or not, whether you see it or not. It does constantly work inside you in unseen, invisible ways. In 1999, once again, I met Mungle Sir, Sadguru Vishwanath Gurunath Mungle, when he was visiting Gaur Sir's residence in Kolhapur. My first meeting, on the first moment when I saw him, I felt I had known him for many, many lifetimes. So much, it was just this oneness that took over, as if I had been with him and I was meeting him once again. I never felt it was the first time I met Sir. I kept on visiting Sir, and Sir would often, when I would visit, talk to me about work, spirituality, how is your sadhana, how is your family, everything. And he would have this words for me which, काळजी करू नकोस, मी तुझ्याशी आहे, तुझ्यापाशी आहे. Don't worry, I am with you. These words of Sir keep ringing into my ears very, very frequently, even till today. Going to visit Sir and being with him for even just an hour was charging every cell of your being with so much of grace, so much of love. Sometimes Sir would talk about scriptures, about meditation. Sometimes we would sit and meditate with Sir. Each time it was very special. One such occasion, I was sitting down, and the moment I pranamed and sat down, he looked at me and said, साधना बहुत अच्छी हो रही है, तुम्हारे घर की जमीन की टाइल्स भी चमकती हैं. I didn't know what to say. I just pranamed. Said, जाऊन बघ आणि मग फोन कर मला. So go home and have a look and then call me up. During the last meeting with Sir, before that I have one more point. Once there was an earthquake in the year 2000, so I had been on some Seva Mandli to help out there. So after that, when I had gone to meet Sir and I told him about this thing, he didn't look very happy. He said to me, "No more going. Spread out your asan, sit in one place, and call upon your Guru. He will come to you. You don't need to go anywhere." This was the most precious gift from Sir. My whole is of sadhana shifted into going deeper, being in one place. I can never thank Sir enough. And yet, there is one more thing to thank Sir for. During my last meeting with Sir in January 2020, Humle Sir said, "गौर साहब को पकड़ के रखना." Little did I know at that time that in a few months, Tuesday satsangs were to be born. And what a platform, what a gathering. So many divine beings, so many evolved souls, grace of so many masters. It is unbelievable. It is no less than sitting in a gathering of saints. It is overwhelming. I cannot explain. It also, and last but not the least, it got me reconnected to a saint, a master whom I met in 2010, Master Jigang Shah. And this happened through a very supremely dedicated master in herself, Umaji. So I'm so full of gratitude for this reconnection. श्री गुरु सरिखा अस्त पाठी राखा इतरांचा ठेवा कोण करी. It's been an endless journey, but it has grown during these Tuesday webinars, Tuesday satsangs, through the blessings of each one of you. Hemaji has been instrumental also in prompting Cursor. So I thank each one of you. I thank all our masters. And I'm very, very grateful to share this journey with you. Shall we meditate for a while? Sometime? Take a comfortable posture. Bring your attention to your breath. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Once again, breathe in deep and breathe out long. Take another breath in and a long breath out. If you are on a chair, put both your feet flat on the floor and try to have an elongated back, but a smooth posture. Relax each muscle of your body, beginning from your feet, the soles of your feet, the ankles. Relax them completely. Bring your attention to your calf muscles, your knees, thighs. Relax your stomach muscles. Become aware of the breath going in and out. Relax your shoulders, your arms, your wrists, your fingers. Let the energy flow. Relax your shoulders. The shoulders carry quite some tension. Relax them completely. Bring your attention to your back. Let your imagination run through your spinal cord from top to bottom. Your neck muscles, let them be soft. Your cheeks, your eyes, your ears. Pay attention to your forehead. Bring a smile on your face. As the breath comes in and goes out, let every cell of your being relax. If there is anything that is holding you back from relaxing, just drop it. Let it go down into the earth through the soles of your feet. Imagine roots going deep, deep down the earth. And take a while. Let everything that is not wanted and not for your benefit Just go away, deep down into the earth. Mother Earth is very, very compassionate. Just offer it to her. Let it go down deep into the core of the earth. And now the whole energy, the dazzling, nourishing energy from Mother Earth, let it rise up through your soles of your feet. Let it come up. Receive it. Coming up through your calf muscles into your lower abdomen and forming a nice ball of golden light in your lower abdomen. Imagine the heavens showering you with sparkling golden light, and it is entering your crown of your head. Soft, smooth, sparkling golden light, and through the Agnya Chakra, through the Vishuddhi, crossing the Anahat Chakra, the heart chakra. It goes down and merges with the golden ball inside your lower abdomen. Feel the golden ball. As you breathe in and breathe out. And now, expand your imagination. Imagine all of us in this Tuesday gathering. Each one of us. We are all seated on a plateau of a mountain. And we are sitting in the framework of a huge prism, the frame of which is made of silver rods. It's an open prism. All of us are seated there. Visualize clear blue sky, pure air, carrying the perfume of flowers. As you breathe in, breathe this pure air, full of divine perfume. Listen. Listen to the sound of silence. Listen to your heart beating. In the triangle of the Sahasrar, there are two syllables. So, so, as you breathe in and breathe out. So, this is the moment of connecting to the inner Guru. Give yourself completely. Offer yourself completely. Let your heart throb. So, 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 Bring yourself again and again to your breath. So,
Gently begin to bring your awareness back to the bodies. You might want to flex your toes or fingers a little, just to let the awareness of the body become stronger. Become aware of how the body is holding itself. With closed eyes, become aware of your environment. If there are any sounds, you can just pay attention to them. In this space of silence that we have experienced in the body and the mind, there is no duality. There is no conflict. We seem so comfortable with everything around us. So, with that ease and comfort, you may want to bring your palms together, bow down, or express your gratitude in the heart to this wonderful experience of meditation on Soham. And then you may gently rub your palms against each other, becoming more established in the body. You might want to put your palms on your eyes, caress your face, offering your love and gratitude to your body, because it is through this body that everything is attained. And when you are ready, you may gently open your eyes. So, what a wonderful evening has this been! Truly a journey into grace. And yes, I can see Umaji clapping. Yes, everybody can clap. Yes. So wonderful. And in a certain way, for me, it was very gratifying to listen to Shailaji, because remembering the gurus, Guru Mai, Solibai, Mungle Sir, Master Shah, it brings immense gratitude. How the masters have shaped us, how the masters have accepted us despite all our flaws and shortcomings. We can only offer our tears of gratitude to them, nothing else. So, thank you so much. It was such a treat to be here. And I'm sure others also want to share something. There's something which I should have said while introducing Shailaji, something about her own personal journey. Along with the spiritual journey we have our own journey through life. So she has been a very busy person. She lost her father very early in life, and she was just thrown into a job. in the LIC. And at a very early age, she took responsibility for the whole family. And this responsibility has always been hers in one form or the other throughout life. So, how to have that kind of responsibility and yet manage to smile, yet manage to reach out to everybody else, yet manage to have time to listen to people? That is what she stands out for. And that is what perhaps each one of us felt when she spoke today. Because she spoke through that living experience. And it is very important, how we pushed. Gurmai asked people to just, because too many visitors were coming, and then she would just direct them. People would ask questions, or when they would be telling the Sevites managing the queues that they wanted to ask a question, they would be directed to any of us. And we had to answer. Now, how to answer a question? Perhaps we did not have all the answers for our own lives. So, how to give answers to others? And yet, the Guru allowed that transition to happen because we had to ask ourselves, what is the Guru going to say? And this basic question, what is the Guru going to say? Putting yourself or oneself in the place of the Guru, that itself was such a wonderful teaching. And I used to love to talk. I used to be a very tongue-tied person, but ever since I started speaking, I used to love to talk. And in the ashram also, somehow or the other, while doing the sevas, people would just hang around and come to me, and I would talk to them. And I had read all the books of Siddha Yoga, so I knew a lot of what Baba Muktananda had said or what Gurumai had said. And it's so funny, I was not confident of going up to the Guru, or I was not very confident of teaching in a program. But I was just in an informal mode, I was talking to so many people all the time. And one day, a senior colleague of ours and his wife, they both visited the ashram. And they had come with somebody who was a very well-known person or an important personality, a very senior, I think, naval officer or an army officer. So they were given a private darshan with Gurumai. And the moment Gurumai realized that, the lady who was, the couple who had come from the income tax department, they were my seniors, she called us. And while talking to them, two things happened. Out of the two persons who had come, the couple, the husband was very talkative and the lady was very quiet. She was quiet to the extent of being remote. And Gurumai just looked at her and she said, "Ye amma bilkul baat nahi karti hai." And she just touched her. And this lady went into a state of absolute stillness and ecstasy. It was amazing to see what had happened there. And then some idle conversation was also happening. And Gurumai suddenly said, "हाँ ये गौर साहब हैं, ये बहुत अच्छे लोगों को सिखाते हैं। तो हम आदमी लोग सब आते हैं, लोग हमसे कुछ पूछते हैं तो हम भेज देते हैं उधर जाकर कुछ उनसे बात करो." It just occurred to me that, Gurumai knew what was happening, that I had been talking to people even though I did not have the courage or the confidence to sort of do a teaching seva. But this was happening and she just mentioned it. So this is how the Guru knows, and the Guru gives you some kind of an inkling of what is going on. So, and especially, so it was very, very great to remember Gurumai, Solibhai, Mungle sir, and especially the last meeting with Sir. The three of us had gone there, myself, Shaila, and Reena Sen. And Sir had said that he said you come to Nipani, that is where Minatai is living at the moment. And this was a program which has been made and unmade so many times, but this time it happened. And we went there, and Minatai had such a wonderful, lavish spread for Sir. And Sir was in a great jovial mood. He ate quite a lot, and he fed everyone, each one of us. And then we started. It was time to leave, so we took leave. We bowed down to him, came out of the house, and we were about to enter our vehicle when somebody came from inside and said, "Hold on, Sir is coming." And it was a time when Sir was not keeping very good health. He had to be supported while walking. And in an unsteady gait, Sir came out to the veranda, and then he just waved to us. It was an unusual gesture. And this thought came to me, is it some kind of a last darshan that we are having? And I was supposed to go to him again in the month of February because he said कि फिर आना, but I could not go. I was sick, so I asked him. So he said, no, तबीयत ठीक नहीं है तो नहीं आना. And it became the last meeting because then COVID started. Traveling was out of the question. So how, being with the Guru is in that state, how he just came out and waved at us, and that was the last benediction that we were so fortunate to get. It was like the last meeting with Soli Bhai that I was leaving, and he just smiled at me, and he took my face in the cup of his palms, and he said, "Son, time is running out." Little did I know that what he meant was that we are not going to meet again in this life. But this is what the Guru is. And this is what the Guru does. So for everything is Lila. The Guru participates in this Lila. And we are made aware that, look, life is not so serious. So don't take it too seriously. You are here, enjoy it. That's it. So all these things just came rushing back to me. So thank you so much for doing this. It was really wonderful. And I'm sure that there are people who might want to ask some questions or share some experience they had while listening to Shaila. So anybody, please unmute yourself and feel free to speak. Anybody? Umaji, you would like to say something? Oh, Vatsala is there. Okay. Yes, Vatsala, go ahead. We can't hear you, Vatsala. You appear to be unmuted, but we can't hear you.
I think her cable is not working.
There is some problem with your connection. So we'll go to Umaji for the time being. Yes,
Can
now
you
we
hear me
can
now,
hear you.
sir?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. Mm. Shailaji's discourse was all that I had hoped it would be. And as you rightly said, Babaji's sweet voice set the tone, and I felt very meditative during the whole thing. I could imagine, it was very evocative. I could imagine the Ganeshpuri ashram and she going there as a child, seeing it. It was a very intimate, very personal uh, uh, description of her experience. It was very enjoyable. It was very nice. It was very meditative for me throughout the session.
In fact, I had one small, tiny thing to share which I missed out. Or
Oh,
during Guru Gita, Baba was very
mm,
particular about how we all chanted the Guru Gita. And the Guru
mm,
Gita would be chanted into the small temple hall. Those days,
mm,
there were very few people. And the lights were also okay, not very bright. But Baba had his eyes on everybody, if whether you are sitting upright or not, and whether you are holding, not bending and stooping and holding your book like this. You had to have your book like this. And if at all, in the whole audience, if there was anybody who would just, have, it was 5:30 in the morning, so had a wink or something, a small piece of wood. Baba had tiny blocks of wood on his side table, and it would go straight onto his head, and you had to come up again. The best part of it was that person had to then and there pick up that block of wood, tiny wood, and hand it over to Baba again. So everybody knew who was. It was the discipline of Baba, which was
mm.
uh, great learning how to sit.
Tha-
Thank
Thank you for a wonderful session.
you.
Thank you
And
for
in
a.
fact,
You are
this brings to my mind something else, which is that in the early days in Ganeshpuri, I have never met Baba, but I heard his stories. People used to tell us that they used to go on Friday evenings, and there were very few people, and Baba would personally cook food for those people who were going to come
mm,
and feed them.
mm,
The next morning, the ladies, the ammas would cook, but in the evening when they would be going, there was nobody. So Baba would cook the food, keep things ready. They would go, and their children would sleep with Baba.
mm,
If there were small kids, they were allowed to go and sleep with Baba.
mm,
And another thing which one Amma said that, it was mandatory that 3 o'clock you should be out of the bed.
mm,
Attend the morning Aarti, meditate, do the Guru Gita. And Baba would go around the place with a small stick.
mm.
And he used to call it the Chota Guru. So anybody who is found sleeping will get a whack. And he said, हाँ हमारी बात नहीं सुनते हो, लेकिन ये छोटा गुरु की बात सभी सुनते हैं. People were made to just leave their beds, go for a bath. There was no geyser. It was a cold water bath. Be ready and meditate and then go for Guru Gita. So Baba was like that. And those people who were with him at that time were very fortunate because they got that chance to be with the Guru in such intimate settings. So there is,
That
the more one can think of Baba, the more your heart starts overflowing with love.
yes. And
Umaji, sorry,
even a glimpse of the guru is enough to transform. They don't have to
yes,
open and say. The
yes.
very presence is transformative. Mm.
True.
That's why I was so eager to listen to Shaila ji. I'm so thankful that she came up
It has
to
been a
share
great
her experience.
remembering and experience for me.
Great. It was so for us also. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you, Vatsala.
And the meditation was very good today. Meditation was
Good.
very good. There is that anything well begun is half done. We started with Baba's voice, meditation ended very well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Umaji, you have to unmute yourself.
Shaila ji, I really lived with you. Every word you spoke, I felt I'm traveling with you, going to the train station, going by the train, going to Siddha. It was an amazing, amazing, amazing session. and you really carried us along with you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Umaji.
you. Thank you.
Anybody else?
हाँ
Just a
मैं बोलूं
moment.
क्या?
Let me. Please. Yes, Rakesh.
बाबा जी ने जो गुरु गीता पढ़ी, आई डोंट नो, मुझे संस्कृत नहीं आती है, बट इट लुक्स दैट every word I was understanding that time when he was reciting. शैला जी का तो लेक्चर बहुत अच्छा था और मेडिटेशन बहुत अच्छा था, लेकिन वो जो यूनिक चीज थी बाबा की गुरु गीता जो बाबा रिसाइट कर रहे थे, मतलब मैंने आपको भी सुना है, आपसे सुनता रहता हूँ कई एपिसोड में, लेकिन बाबा जो बोल रहे थे, आई डोंट नो व्हाट वाज देयर इन द वॉइस, बट समथिंग डिफरेंट, मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है अंदर, जैसे अंदर से समझ में आ रहा है.
I will tell you the secret if you allow me.
Okay.
When the master speaks, the master is not talking about a text. The master's voice is coming from Paravak. There are these levels of speech: Vakhari, Madhyama, Pashyanti, and Para. And then there are those great masters like Baba who go beyond the Para. So, a guru who has gone beyond the Para, his voice has the power of initiation. So when he speaks and you listen with that open heart, the Shuddha Shravan, you drop all your understanding. Just listen. Then what happens? The Guru's voice takes you into that state where the scripture comes alive. People read Bhagavad Gita. There are so many people who are interpreting Bhagavad Gita. But who would have understood what the Lord said except Arjun? It was being revealed to him. So to have that kind of state of revelation, you have to become the Arjun. And the Guru has to become Lord Krishna or Lord Shiva. And then Guru Gita or Bhagavad Gita or any Gita, it will be revealed, because there are words and there are words within words and words beyond words. So what is beyond words is revealed. So you have a pure heart, you listen to Baba, and the meaning of those words started arising inside you. So it's a wonderful experience. Baba has given you something which is truly great. And that is why anybody who listens to Baba chanting Guru Gita, they just listen and fall in love with Baba. You have to fall in love with the Guru. That is how it manifests. You see that Laila and Majnu were in great love with each other. So what happened? Their love or their identification with each other was so strong that Majnu, when he saw only Laila everywhere. And Laila, when she saw Majnu everywhere. उर्दू में शायर ने कहा है कि इश्क के रौ में हर एक नक्शा उल्टा नजर आता है, मजनू नजर आती है, लैला नजर आता है. So this is what happens when you fall in love with the Guru. No matter which Guru, all Gurus are representing that divine principle of grace. So when you fall in love, then the Guru starts manifesting inside you. something which is beyond the eyes to see, something which is beyond the ears to hear, something which is beyond the sense of touch to touch, something which is beyond the intellect to reveal. Because intellect can reveal only what it has understood. But that which is the truth is beyond understanding, so that gets revealed. So that is why we are here, just to fall in love with the Guru. And those who fall in love will find that their lives have changed completely. तो ये जो है ये हमारे पियक्कड़ों की बस्ती है, जो शराब पीकर झूमते हैं वो दूसरे किस्म के पियक्कड़ हैं. असली पियक्कड़ तो हम लोग हैं जो बिना शराब पिए ही झूम रहे हैं. So it is like this. Why do we come here every Tuesday? Just to be drunk with love and joy and gratitude. And that is real satsang. It is not so much about understanding, knowing. It's just about feeling. So thank you so much for bringing this out. It's a wonderful thing that is happening to you. Anybody else?
I'd like to share a few of the incidents with Shaila ji. This is Ashok here.
Oh, Ashok, come. Oh, so nice to see you.
Yes, and I made
He
it.
is like the eagle who shows his face once in a while. Ashok lives in US, and we have known him from our days in Ganeshpuri, and later on he shifted to US. Previously he was living in Mumbai, and he's a great devotee of Guru Mai. And I think Shaila sort of was the magnet that brought him here today. So you are most welcome.
I did not want to miss the session today.
No.
Shaila, I really didn't want to miss the session. So the talk was going on. While the talk was going on, I was taking my shower and everything. But because it's a morning time here, and I want to share that I have really such fond memories, especially when Gaur Sahib, they would speak in Hindi and Shaila would speak in Hindi. So that the feeling was different when when it comes in Hindi, and we had many chances of being together and interacting together, doing a lot of seva together. So thank you so much.
Thank
It's
you.
a great pleasure. Thank you, Ashok. Thank you.
Anybody else? Are we close? So Shailaji, would you like to chant something to close the session?
Sure. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadgurunath Maharaj ki jai.